For the sake of this video, I'm going to create two characters. On the right, we have Ivan. Ivan does only bodyweight workouts at home and he thinks he's going to get more athletic that way. And on the left side, we have Ronnie. Ronnie knows exactly what it takes to become more athletic. He knows that it takes a lot more work than people actually think to get to the level we want to get. He took Ivan under his wing and in just 1.5 to 2 months, Ivan became more athletic than he's ever been. I used to train exactly like Ivan. I was doing just crunches, planks, squat jumps, push-ups at home, and I thought that I was going to get more athletic that way, which isn't the case. So today I'm going to give you 5 tips you can implement today, you can start doing today to get more athletic. Number 1, plyometrics are essential. You've probably heard this a million times on the internet or from friends, coaches or whatever, but trust me when I say that if you actually start doing plyometrics the right way, yes, there is a right way. If you start doing them the right way, you notice how your performance just skyrockets. And plyometrics are proven to be one of the easiest ways to improve your power output and force production, so why not do them? A lot of people may argue here and might say, yeah, plyometrics aren't as effective as people make them seem like on the internet. But let me tell you that if you actually start being thoughtful about every single movement and every single exercise you perform, either in the gym, on the field, or whatever it is, you will notice how your performance actually just skyrockets. Because what I see a lot of people do is they just kind of go through the motion without actually being thoughtful about the movement itself. They just kind of do it because they see someone else do it. But if you're actually thoughtful, if you actually think about the movement and perform the movement with 100% intent, actually knowing what you want to get out of the movement, you will notice how your performance just shoots up. And in order for you to do this, you need to actually understand what a certain exercise does to your body and how a certain exercise impacts your body. You need to ask yourself, what am I focusing here? What am I actually trying to improve with this certain exercise? Is it vertical force production? Is it horizontal force production? Is it just redirecting force, or is it all of the above? You need to actually think about, okay, what does this actually do and how do I do it the best way possible? You need to ask yourself, what is the rep ratio I'm going to do? And last but not least, you need to actually ask yourself if the exercise is beneficial and if actually does something, or does it just look fancy because you saw it online. Number 2, weights do not make you slower. Now, please don't assume that just because bodybuilders lift a lot of weights, that if you touch a weight, you're somehow going to become stiff, or you're going to become a bodybuilder, or you're going to become unathletic. If used the right way, weights, again, just like plyometrics, are proven to be one of the easiest ways to improve your strength output, your force output, your explosiveness, your endurance, and so much more. There are 2 barriers which we need to take into consideration and try to avoid when we do train with weights: ego lifting and hypertrophy training. Now, for the ones who don't know what ego lifting actually means, ego lifting is just using too much weights which you don't have the strength for, or you can't even do a single rep with it. I mean a proper rep with it. And training for hypertrophy means using light to medium weight, which promotes muscle tear, which will result in you building more muscle tissue, resulting in you getting bigger and stronger. Now, both of these will actually benefit you and will result in you building more muscle and getting stronger to some extent. If you're training like a bodybuilder or only for hypertrophy training, you're most probably doing only hypertrophy training, mixed with maybe a little bit of max strength work, like 1 rep max or 2 rep max or whatever you're doing, which as an athlete might only help you in the beginning stages where you're just starting to build a little bit of muscle, you're starting to get a little bit stronger, which may result in you actually performing better or getting faster or being more explosive on the pitch. However, for the long run, this probably won't be beneficial for you because you start putting too much muscle mass and you won't give your body enough time to actually adapt to the changes and be fast with the current body weight that you currently have. And if you are only training for hypertrophy, you probably are missing out on training fast and explosive movements, which in the long run, again, will result in you actually becoming slower. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Like if you just stop for a moment and think about it, if you switch your mindset like this to every single exercise you do and perform, this is how you skyrocket your performance. This is how you actually do some noticeable change to your performance and explosiveness, speed, vertigo, or whatever you're trying to do. Number 3, train your core more often. Well, now you've heard this 1,000 times and it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Well, not really. Most of the times when people hear core training, they think about, oh, 6-pack abs. Oh, I want to get abs like Ronaldo. This means I have a strong core. Not really. The core doesn't only consist of the 6-pack abs. The obliques, the lower back muscles, and all the smaller muscles which help stabilize your body are actually part of the core. And a lot of people don't know this because Again, when they hear core, they think, yeah, six packs. If you have big, nice, visible six packs, you have a stronger core. This isn't always the case. The hip flexors, even the hip flexors and the adductors play a huge role in your overall core strength, core stability, and endurance. But why should we actually train our core muscles? You've heard that you need to train it, but why do we actually need to train it? Because the core, just like the name of it, is in the center of the body. It's the link between your upper body and your lower body. And when you think about it, every movement, every single rotation, every single sprint, every single jump comes from the core itself. The core, the legs, and the upper body are all connected. So if you have a weak link anywhere in your core, you won't be able to throw, you won't be able to jump, you won't be able to change direction or sprint as effectively as you could when you do have a strong core. Again, every single movement comes from the core. So stronger core, more stabilized core equals better movement. Plus, there's a big bonus if you have a strong core, strong oblique, strong lower back, strong abs, strong stabilizers. Chances are you're going to reduce your risk of having back pain in the future, or if you currently have back pain, get a stronger core and you might reduce your lower back pain, your hip flexor pain, adductor pain, or whatever pain you might have throughout the link. Number 4, don't train only half of your body like an athlete. Now, as I mentioned all the 3 things above, do you think that only training your lower body like an athlete and your upper body just purely for hypertrophy and for mass like a bodybuilder makes sense? To me, it doesn't. It makes literally no sense to me because, as I said, your body works like a unit. Lower body, core, and upper body are all connected, and every single movement relies on all 3 parts of the body. So if you hear someone say, yeah, it's completely all right to train your upper body like a bodybuilder and your lower body like an athlete and your core like something in between, tell them to shut the fuck up, because this is literally this is just nonsense. Literally, this is just nonsense. I don't even have to explain that much, considering all the things that I said just literally 5 minutes ago. You can have a mix of both worlds. You can train like an athlete and build some muscle simultaneously. You don't need to do this crazy nonsense. And number 5, don't do any shit without any intent or without any purpose and expect to see any noticeable results. If you train like an athlete, you need to be cautious about every single movement and every single thing you do in the gym. From warming up to which exercise actually comes first, to which exercise comes last, to when should you train your core, to when is it okay to have some hypertrophy exercises mixed in, to when should you do your strength work, to when should you do your power work, everything. Now, okay, but why does it actually matter? Well, having a well-structured and well-prioritized workout is what separates average athletes from top of the world athletes. Now, if you've been watching my videos for a long time, you've probably heard me saying, yeah, this comes first, this comes second, this comes third. But there is a reason behind this. Now, each exercise group is different, from the strain it puts on your body, to the rest you need to take in between each rep in each set, to the energy that that's actually required from your body to perform a certain exercise. Literally everything. For example, if you do your hypertrophy, conditioning, and endurance exercises first in your workout, and you want to then perform a power or a plyometric exercise, you won't be able to perform this exercise with anywhere from 80 to 100% intensity, because you're already going to be tired. Your muscles are going to be tired, they're going to be sore, you won't have any energy left, and you won't be able to get as much of the plyometric as you could have gotten if you've done the plyometric first, because it requires more energy and more power from your body. Does that make sense? So it only makes sense to start with an exercise which requires more energy from your body, but it isn't as exhausting as a hypertrophy exercise might be. So you'll do your plyometrics and power things first, then you'll do your strength work. And if you have some time, you may do a hypertrophy exercise to finish it off, endurance, conditioning. You always finish off with the most exhausting exercise and you start with the least exhausting ones. If you need help with your training, check the link in my bio where you can find my 6-week performance program. Subscribe, like, comment, do all the crazy stuff. You know I love you guys. Mwah.